everybody, and welcome to the Richard Listens Show. And I think I'm looking at the right camera. We are changing locations once again. It's keeping me on my toes. I keep encouraging you to get uncomfortable, so apparently that means I'm supposed to get real uncomfortable. Extremely uncomfortable.
Richard came in here all upset today.
But I'm here.
He's here.
I'm glad I listened to that background music. But I'm glad I listened
to get Richard pumped up.
I was listening. Well, we'll digress in a moment. But I was listening to Tim Ferriss this morning on his podcast. And he was talking about how uncomfortable he gets about having people over for dinner. So he always makes sure he, hits the restroom, throws some water on his face because he just knows he'll get super awkward and leave lots of pauses. So thankfully that's why I have a co-host. Everybody, not just because she's amazing in her own right, but because she'll keep me from fumbling over my 2 feet. So this week in LA, we have torrential rains. We had a Super Bowl. Now we have a Super Bowl hangover. And today we're going to talk about, we've had sports parents, we've had sports coaches on, but today we're going to touch a little bit on super fandom. And we're going to get in here. We have a great privilege today to have an LA icon in studio. I know this because as a transplanted New Yorker, not being able to root for my New York Knicks, both because they were far away and because, frankly, they're too pitiful to watch for the last 20 years. I kind of adopted the Clippers. I mean, you guys can hate on me if you want, but it's, you're allowed to adopt a team, I think, when you're away from home. After there should be a statute on limitations.
Well, for the Super Bowl, I won, from Boston, and then now I'm in LA.
Oh, so you could have bandwagon either way.
Yeah,
you had it covered.
I was a winner. Yeah, but I knew New England was
I got some evil looks for rooting for Tom Brady yesterday.
I met people from all my hometown areas when I was out yesterday. They knew me, and I heard that Boston accent. They were like, "We're from Bridgewater,"
You found your tribe.
I did.
Without further ado of me rambling on, today we have none other in studio but a local favorite, Clipper Darrell. Welcome.
What's up?
Yeah, he's bringing the energy.
What's going down, baby? Talk to me. Hey, man, when I came down here, I didn't realize, man, how fine your co-host is, man.
Hey,
you can have me in here every day.
Blushing.
Yes. Well, it's amazing how Caitlin found us and has now relocated. So the show is it's great. It's organic. So who knows? Maybe you'll be willing to come on regularly.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get the Clippers to the playoffs if they can survive Luka Doncic. Man, that guy is.
They're not even in the playoff picture right now.
Oh wow, what happened?
I mean, were they like 11th place or something like that?
What?
He plays for the Dallas Mavericks, man. We got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, man, and he should be Rookie of the Year. But everybody's putting all his praise on Doncic because he can shoot like Steph Curry. That's all it is.
He is.
But you got to put your team in the right places. That's a winner.
Yeah. So what's going on with the Clippers? What's your assessment this season? They came off. They were in the 4 seed last. I went to see them.
They was number 1 seed at one time, man. But I just think that we don't. It's a chemistry issue to me with coaching, of saying not knowing your role. And when you coming in and you don't know how much time you're gonna play. Like if you go to work and you work 8 hours a day, then all of a sudden your boss comes in and tells you you worked an hour, you go home. Pisses you off.
Sure.
It's the same thing like a player. Player comes in, they play 5 minutes, 6 minutes, for a half, and you don't even get sweaty in 5 minutes. So that's those are the kinks and things that the coach has to work out, man.
So the expectations are not clear.
Exactly. Yeah. And when you don't know your role on a team, man, that's what hurts a lot. But I think once Glenn Rivers get that together, I think we should be okay.
Yeah, and he's savvy. He's been around a long time. He's a former Knick.
Mm-hmm.
So
he's a former Clipper too.
That's true.
So that's not saying too much either.
That's true. So I mean, that's the beauty of being a super fan is you have a pulse on your team and their evolution and things like that. Did you ever have a interest in coaching? Did you play when you were younger?
Never played the lick of basketball. I was a baseball, football guy. Never played the lick of basketball, man. And I gravitated to the Clippers because one night I got fired from a job, and it was my best friend. He told me I'd never amount to anything in life without him. And you know how you get fired, you feel sorry for yourself. Went home, plopped on the couch, turned the TV on. They said the same thing about them, about the Clippers. I said how horrible they was, how they never amount to anything. I said, this is going to be my team. We're going to ride and die together.
That hit home for you, huh?
Yeah. So that's how I became a Clipper fan. That was 26 seasons ago.
I was gonna ask you how long.
Yeah.
Do you still have your BMW?
Yeah.
Did you drive it today?
No, actually.
Guys, if you're listening, you don't know. He has a blue and red amazing BMW that matches his ensemble that he's wearing today. It's
That's
fantastic.
true. And if you're not watching Facebook Live and you're listening to this later on,
yes, check it out.
How often that people who love or say you're passionate about it, they say you've got to walk the walk, you've got to dress. Right. So you know, you got to explain to me the history behind your suit, because it's got now, is that sponsorship on it?
Yes.
Yes,
so it is red, white, and blue.
You are so known too. When I told everybody who I was going to have on the show today, they I met him at a game, or like people know you.
Oh yeah, I'm telling you, I've been at like a Thanksgiving game, rainy like this, and it's quiet, and then all of a sudden you hear one voice step up. I mean, you're like, you become the leader of like the Clipper Nation.
Oh yeah, it feels good, man. You know what I'm saying? It feels good to be a part of something that people that want, people you can inspire people, and that's the whole part of being a fan. You can do what you want to do, but have fun while you're doing it without disrespecting other fans or the players that's on.
Well, that's a huge point that you're making right there, and I read that about you, that in this day and age with heckling and how much you mentioned Steph Curry.
You're a polite heckler, right?
Yeah, well, and how these. If I had my family at a game and I was playing professionally, that would put me in such a weird place if somebody was, using awful language, or that kind of stuff. So the fact that you're known as one of the last clean hecklers, I mean, it makes it great for the game. I mean, opposing teams know they're going to get jeered in your stadium. That's part of walking into the jungle. So where did you get that ethic come from? Because that's something that's lost these days. People go negative and dark real quick.
Being around my mother was an ordained minister, so you couldn't curse, and you could have fun, we could crack jokes, but we couldn't curse around the house. So we had to realize, tell a joke or do some funny stuff with among my siblings without cursing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I grew up in the era, man. You curse in the house, man. You got slapped. You got back slapped. My mama had the quickest backhand in the world. So and that's where it came from, man. I just feel like when I got older and you start having kids, you start thinking differently. You know what I'm saying? And I like to make people laugh. I've always been, ever since 4th grade, I've always been the life of the party. So I would like to make people smile, laugh, or whatever, and move on. So this was like fun to me, man. Just to be able to go to a game and make people smile and laugh, man. It was unbelievable, the reaction that I got.
Now, do you have one experience at a game that really stands out for you in all the time you've been doing this? That's just a story you need to tell us.
It's funny because the Clippers was getting their butt whooped one game by 50 points. I'm sitting, and it was a Lakers-Clippers game, and it was the Lakers home game. I'm sitting mid-court, and we was getting our butt whooped. But I never leave a game, right? But I get quiet. All of a sudden, this lady next to me, she says, "Darrell, Kobe and Lamar want you." So I look up at her, right? And then Kobe and Lamar is looking up at me. They doing this. Like, we don't hear you no more. What's wrong? So, I've had several experiences, man, where I do a chant when I go, and I always pick the player and not so good looking on the team, and I do it go, UGLY, you ain't got no alibi, you ugly, hey. So when I do that chant, it's so hilarious. I did it to Delonte West, and to watch Shaq and LeBron James when they played for Cleveland crack up on the sideline was like priceless for me.
Your moment.
Because everybody knows that chant from when they were in like 3rd grade.
Exactly.
It's like universal.
I remember back to my softball days, just doing the GOODEYE, good eye.
Oh yeah!
Oh wow!
I'm a big UCLA softball fan.
Oh nice,
I'm a huge softball fan. My daughter started playing in the 9th grade, so I started going to the games, and really, man, I really got into it, man. So her cheering, because my niece played for UCLA. Mm-hmm. So I used to go, 2-2, all BB. So then when I went to my daughter's game, I just changed the BB to EB. And
nice.
So it all worked out. So, So I'm a known cheerer, man. Wherever I go, man, I try to get a crowd rocking, especially if it's quiet.
And UCLA is great, by the way, for anyone with families. Like you can get tickets for like $6 or something. I think to go see softball. Or
I haven't paid for a pair of tickets in a long time, so I can't even quote a price right now.
Now,
so we need to be going to games with this guy.
Now that's a good question, right? Because I know that over the years, right, it became like contentious about you owning the Clipper name, and then right, even with the whole Donald Sterling scandal, which was big out here, right? That what was the deal when they sold the Clippers to Steve Ballmer? That Mrs. Sterling wanted to be known as the Clipper #1 fan. How long did that last?
I mean, she's still known as the Clippers #1 fan, but one thing about it, when you are who you are, people know it. I don't have to boast.
They can feel that energy.
Exactly. I don't have to say I'm the Clippers. No, yo, get away, Shelly. Nah. If Shelly wants to be called Clippers #1 fan, let her be called it. But everybody knows who's a true super fan. I don't have to. I don't have to. I mean, that's why I'm here on your show.
That's right. That's right.
You see what I'm saying?
Enough said.
So did you have to actually go to court about it? Or
That only lasted. That lasted like 2 hours.
Oh, okay. I remember seeing something on the news one night.
When you got Blake, DeAndre Jordan, and CP3 on with your back, and then you get the media, 90% of media, 95% of media that got you, it ain't nothing they can do about it. Because I had the name a long time. The media gave me the name in 2004 or 5. Now you want to say something 2012? I mean, come on. Right. If you didn't like it back then, it was cool back then. Y'all called me Clipper Darrell. Y'all put me on the website saying, Clipper Darrell. Then all of a sudden, when we get CP3, now we got CP3 and Blake, they say, oh man, we don't need him no more. But it doesn't work like that. Not especially when it comes to true fans.
Yeah. And especially when you come from I wasn't a big New York Jets fan coming up, but they got Fireman Ed out there. Yeah. And that's like for the working class people. I don't know about, front running teams, but for the working class people in the cold, especially, are coming out here, the Clippers, where it's always been for a long time. Sorry to touch on second fiddle to the Lakers. It's been for a long time. Not always, not anymore. Maybe it's shifted, right? But it means so much to have somebody who's like you, who's embracing, your passion, who's getting up there and cheering and making the games exciting.
You know what the biggest rewarding to me is when I have a radio show that I do every weekend, and to have players on and to hear their response about me is priceless. It's like, the compliments that they give me, the stuff that I can do in the community and stuff like that. That's honoring to me. That's like saying, you've been paying attention to me.
What's the name of your show?
It's called Fan Truth. So and my show is totally different. I'm not trying to be ESPN or Fox Sports. I talk about when they come on my show, I want to get to know them, not what they did. You tune in to ESPN and Fox Sports, and you want to talk about this game. Mm-hmm. We're gonna talk about them, man, their kids and how they, are you a Clipper Darrell when you go watch your kids play? And it's funny because, talking to them, you get a good position and on how they look at the game. They look at the game differently now. Like I look at refereeing, because I was a baseball umpire, and I see how the NBA umpires, referees mess up games, and it's easily could be done. So to me, I just feel like them instant replay rules, when they come in effect, they need to have an outside person look at them. Somebody down in New York, instead of them making the decision, let the people in New York make the decision. Because we got cheated on a play to where in the league rules on when we was playing the Lakers, where Lance Stevenson hit Boban in the face with his elbow. They said it wasn't intentional, but so what? He hit him in the face. They kicked out our guy Montrezl Harrell for a game one time for doing the same thing. They penalized him, so why wouldn't Lance Stevenson be penalized? But I just think refereeing is a hard job, and we quick to criticize, but hey, I tell anybody, you go out there and try it. Coaching is hard. I mean, even playing this game is hard, man. You at the free throw line trying to, shoot free throws and somebody yelling at you. You got 17,000 people yelling at you, man. That's hard, you know? And you got 40,000 people in baseball booing you, hoping that you don't get a base hit, And the football stadium is even worse. So, so being a fan, man, it's just that fans have to understand to respect other fans. You know, just because I look at it this way. I'm a Clipper fan. My parents are Laker fans. I'm supposed to hate my parents because they're Laker fans? I mean, let's keep it 100. You know. So you got a wife or you got a girlfriend that's a Warriors fan. You gonna break up with her because she's a Warriors fan? I mean, is it really that serious?
I think there
For
are
some
people out
people.
there. Yeah, but there are some people
some
that it
people
is
it
that
is.
serious.
I just don't understand that, man. You know, I mean, I've met people like that, but that's the craziest thing, that when you see people like that.
So it's wrong if I tell my kids they have to sleep outside if they don't root for the Giants.
I mean, I feel that. I mean, my kid. Nobody none of my kids are Clipper fans. None of them. My sons, both my 15-year-old, he's a LeBron James fan. Wherever LeBron go, he go. My oldest one, he's 28 now. He was a Kobe Bryant fan when he was coming up. But he's a Lakers fan. My other one's a Phoenix Suns fan. My daughter just goes whoever's cute. So,
Right.
But my thing is, you have to have, my kids have choices. I can't make them become a Clipper fan. I would like them to become a Clipper fan, you know. But you can't make your child become a fan that, you know, that they didn't grow up liking. You know, we have to win. And that's when people will start gravitating on to you. You know what I'm saying? Because now all of a sudden, look, the Rams are in the Super Bowl. Now all of a sudden you a Rams fan. Now everybody Rams fans around here now. Come
Right,
on.
exactly. It's very hard.
Yeah.
It's very hard. Well, I think some of that I'll forgive because, as you know, the sports fan in me says, I feel bad that people haven't had a team to root for here to go to games. Like I wouldn't know what that identity is like. Growing up in New York, and we were blessed with success in the Giants, 86 and 90, and the Mets in 1986. You know, and being able to go to some of those games, those experiences shaped my childhood.
Yeah.
So I was willing to go in the freezing cold. It's also like sacrificing the elements, and you do that with your family. And then it's like, oh, we're in this together. That's really what you're talking about being a super fan. Mm-hmm. There's this experience of like, you know, even if things are not going great personally, it's like a greater tribe, you know, and I would show up at New York Giants games with, you know, real blue collar guys driving trucks, you know, but when you're cold, they'd open up their blankets. You'd be like, you know, body heat, you know, well, we'll keep you warm, son, you know, and there's such a feeling of that, of like, wow, my family just got to 80,000. You know, and if you lose, you suffer together.
Exactly.
And still to this day, you know, some of my friends just can't look at me and be like, oh, that game we lost in 49ers, we had that one. You know, it's like like you're still dialed in to those key emotional moments.
You know, woulda, shoulda, coulda moments.
Exactly.
If they would have did this one different, I think we could have did this. I mean,
Do you have a few of those with the Clippers?
Oh man, I got many of those with the Clippers, but you know, I wish they would have let, you know, Glenn Rivers go, the coach that they got now. But hey, you have to deal with, you know, with the owner's choices and what Jerry West wants to do and the direction of this team. You know, I'm loving the way Steve Ballmer, our new owner now, having the direction of the team. He's believing in what Jerry West wants to do. And yeah, I was upset when CP3, Blake, and DeAndre left. I was very upset. But then I looked at the direction that they went in and the winning that we had without having a big name superstar.
Yeah.
Do you really need a superstar to win? You know, because you create superstars. The Warriors did it. You know, nobody knew who Steph Curry was. Nobody knew who Klay Thompson was. Nobody knew who Draymond Green. Draymond Green was the 60th pick in the second round.
Yeah, in college, he was good at everything, but he wasn't superstar.
But the 60th,
right?
he wasn't no superstar.
He was on a great team, Michigan
Exactly.
State, solid. Yeah.
But if you take Draymond off the Warriors, do they win? I doubt it.
Iguodala too, right? He's kind of just a role player there, but was he an
huge.
all-star?
He's an all-star, exactly. Remember, he got championship. He had NBA Finals MVP. Iguodala had it. So my thing is, it takes a team to win, and when people understand that, when people stop trying to chase the dream, trying to build these super teams and build what you already have, man, you can have great teams.
Now, can you relate to that? You're coaching still, right?
I am, and coaching from the youth sports on up. And
Do you have super fans ever at your games?
Super
Any parents that are super?
Well, that's what I was trying to hear
fans?
when Darrell was talking about this, because it's like that you want to keep composure.
As
but
my
the hardest
grandfather was
thing-
a hardcore super fan of mine for my softball and soccer. So
It's this fine line, because anybody who observes me out there, my passion becomes, and you want to like express, and you want to really get vocal and into the game, but at the same point, sometimes we had a game where we upset the number 1 seed last weekend, and then we had a game where we lost, I think 7-1 the next game, and at some point when a couple kids were sitting down and about to give up, it's at some point there's not much you can do in your voice or any kind of encouragement. You can just keep it positive, keep the self-talk kind of to a messages of, hey, we play to the end, or keep your heads up, right? At some point, right when you're in that 50-point deficit, you can say things, but it's a different message.
The only thing I hate about coaches, and I'm not gonna say hate. Hate's a strong word. Dislike is that when you have a star player, and you have your role players. When the role players make a mistake, they get benched. When the star player makes the same mistake the role player just did, he don't get benched.
So right.
Bench him all. The one thing I love about Popovich is that he benches. He don't care who. As long as that ball is going in the hoop, and I got this team out there, my star players are sitting down, and that's why the Spurs are the organization that they are, because they don't care. They don't. It ain't no. This team ain't all about you. It's all about everyone. Because you can't win by yourself.
Well, that's a good point that's coming up in the field of sports psychology right now, Darrell, because a lot of people are saying, well, I'm not sure I want to focus on millennials, right? But the people are, but this is the culture we're in, right? So if you want to help the people that are in the field right now, you're having people that were raised a little bit differently, and they don't all believe like maybe you or I do, right? That hey, the coach is in charge, and it's a team game, right? There's a lot more, no, I'm getting mine. I'm getting paid more. I deserve my shots per game. I mean, is there a balance between old school and kind of new school?
It shouldn't be no balance though, because you get paid to sell tickets. You get paid to put the ball, but at the end of the day, we got to win. If we don't win, I don't care how much we pay you. We pay you $100 million a year. But if we're not winning, you're going to get traded. As long as we winning, everybody wins. You ever notice that? Like
we all have the same goal.
Exactly. Yeah. And that 15th man on the team gets paid. During JaVale would have me laughing. He said, "Man, the year they won the championship, when he won his first one in Oakland, shoot, he probably made an extra $10 million just doing appearances because he was on a championship team. Who knew who JaVale McGee was at the time? Nobody knew.
He was a journeyman, right?
Exactly.
He was out of the league for a while, right?
Yeah, he was almost out the league. But he revived himself by going to a contender. They won a championship.
Playing 2-3 minutes at a time.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
revived himself. But people want to be around winners. And that's what this society makes you. If you don't win championships, that makes you so you're saying Charles Barkley ain't worth nothing because he has never won a championship? Tracy McGrady has never won a championship. You're not going to listen to him? There's a lot of guys.
But you made a good point about being a fan, though, and we talk about bandwagons a little bit in jest. So how do you remain as a fan when you really want to buy this winning product and feel like you're a part of and I'm glad you mentioned being a minister, too, because our teams, it's kind of a mirror for family, right? We want to be part of a healthy family. Sometimes we get the family that we came from, and we get right. So how do you stay loyal to a team that has been struggling?
Love, passion. That's who I am. I've always been the type of people, type of person that's always been loyal. You know what I'm saying? To my friends, to my family, because without loyalty, you ain't got nothing. Because that means you don't believe it. You just believe in everything. Because that means this person just switches around. You know what I'm saying? You have to stand on faith and saying this team is gonna go far one day. It's not probably today or tomorrow.
Because if you don't believe in it, no one else is gonna believe.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter sports or anything you do.
And that's what made people look at me. They be like, "Man, are you sure you want to be a Clipper fan?" You know, I mean, it's been a rough road for me, man. You know, I've been accused of a lot of things, but one thing you can't accuse me of is not being loyal to this team.
So does it ever get hard? I mean, so
man.
you at every home game?
Yeah, I've only missed 2 games in 19 seasons. I had a 386 consecutive streak going.
Wow.
Yeah, I missed it because I
had a health issue.
Yeah, had chest pains, and my mother told me to go to the hospital, and I went to the hospital, and the doctor kept me. And the day I went to the hospital, I didn't have no game, but I had to stay overnight another night, and I asked the nurse. I looked at the nurse. I said, "If I was your husband, would you let me leave?" She said, "Girl, get out of here." She said, "I can't answer that like that." I said, "No, just hypothetical." You know what I'm saying? If you the nurse and your husband was laying in the hospital, would you let him go to the game? And she said, "No, Darrell, you can't go to the game." And I said, "Okay." So I stayed there. So that was my first game missed. And the second game that I missed, I booked the event. I was the host of the Fallen Officers in Visalia, California. But when I booked the event, the schedule didn't come out.
Oh.
So, and then as soon as the schedule came out, it was on the day the Clippers played. So I had to, I already committed.
But I love that because that shows your priorities to both charity and health are probably the only things that come before your fandom.
Yes.
Oh yeah, like birthday parties, like my kids' birthday parties. They go to
the game.
And they look at it. They say, "Okay, Daddy plays." The Clippers play at 7:30 that night, so we're gonna have the party at 1:00. If you want Daddy to come, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, so that's.
Oh, they don't mess with you and make it at like 4. They don't try.
No, they want their presents, right?
Honestly, I've never had that problem with them. They've been, because they get to go to their games, so they get to go to the games.
It's part of their culture now, their life.
Like my son now, he gets to go to 2 games a year because his player is LeBron James, so because he only want to watch LeBron. That's it.
So are your kids like mine? Like, do they give you do they seem like excited when they go to the game? Or are they like, stop embarrassing me?
Oh, bro, it was so funny. My daughter, all my kids, they was embarrassed at first. Don't get me wrong, they was very embarrassed. They was like, "Daddy, stop that, Daddy!" But then all of a sudden, when they daddy's on TV. And then they friends say, "Oh, your daddy's so cool. Man.
You're embarrassing but cool." Yeah. There you go.
Now you're not embarrassing no more. You know what I'm saying? So that's what usually happens, But everybody's like that with their own, with their kids or their father or their mother. Because I was like that with my mom. My mom used to come. I used to get in trouble in school. My mom used to come and wear these sundresses. She had 3 of them, but had different vests. I said, "Mama, can you just change your clothes one time?" But I think that's a part of being a kid. But once they friends gravitated onto it, they accept it now. It's like, man, now they friends call me, "Hey, Darrell, can you give me some tickets to this game?"
Oh, they know.
Oh yeah, so it's so much fun now for them, and then they get to meet a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? I get invited to a lot of, because Snoop adopted my kids as that's they niece and nephews now, so they call him Uncle Snoop and all that. So it's because I do like 4 events with Snoop a year.
So has this led to entertainment or speaking gigs for you?
Yeah, it seems like you have your own entertainment career now.
I do high school and middle school motivational speaking. So I talk to a lot of kids. I do that. I have a high school tour that I do for basketball season, where I go and I give the high school and the NBA feel. So I bring the halftime show. I bring the national anthem. We give away a car during the.
You don't sing yourself, do you?
Oh no. And we put all this together, and it's live on the radio. And then I get 2 students to experience it. So I get 1 sideline reporter and 1 person to do play-by-play with me. And then we switch at halftime, and then they do a sideline with my co-host, and we have fun with it, man. And the schools love it. Don't cost the school a dime.
Yeah, that sounds so fun.
Yeah, don't cost the school a dime, man. All through my nonprofit, man. And it's all in honor of my mom, man, because she told me to always give back and make sure never forget where you come from. So that's through my mom, and that's what I dedicated to my nonprofit is HVB1Mom.org.
I love that. I've been working on a nonprofit in honor of my father, too.
Yeah, see, so you already know.
Yes.
Exactly.
That's right.
That's wonderful.
What's the HVB stand for?
Harriet Virginia Bailey. Yeah, that was
Her initials.
All her initials, yeah.
Virginia Bailey, yeah.
That's my mommy.
And she was a minister?
Yeah, ordained minister. So, when she passed away, bro, I mean, it'd be 4 years in April. And still, and you know what? People say, oh, man, everybody that I've talked to that lost their mom, they always say it gets harder every year, harder, but she left so much for me to remember her by, and just being successful. I know she's smiling down on me and saying, I knew you'd be whatever you wanted to do.
And you're keeping her spirit alive that way.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Because everybody thought I was crazy that this would turn into a job. Everybody said,
but that's when you know you're doing the right thing. Because I can't tell you how many times people tell me I'm crazy. Mm-hmm. Too many. I'm like, fine, let me be crazy. It'll turn into something good someday.
My first gig was 2003. Never forget it. I was dancing in the aisles. They used to call me dancing. Man, I was dancing. And a sponsor walks up to me. They said, Darrell, how would you like to make money at this? I said, make money at this?
You're like, leave me alone. I'm trying to dance.
I said, I can make some money. They said, I want you to host an event. We're doing an event with Al Thornton. We had Al Thornton on the team at the time, and we want you to come and bring the energy, right? I said, okay. First gig, paid me $250 for 1 hour. Never forget it. I said,
and this was what year?
2003.
So that was some good money.
So I was like, $250 an hour. Ooh, shuck it now. I was only making 11. I was working. What was I? I was only making $13 an hour back then. So.
And what was your day job back then?
I was a general manager. You know what? No, I had my own. I had my own store at the time in 2003. So I had a pager and cell phone shop. And so when I went to go do that gig, that was my first gig, and guess who that gig was for? Metro PCS.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was funny then, and then the Clippers ended up messing up the sponsorship, and then they went over to the Lakers, and so they never came back. But I had them for 2 years though, so I had a free phone and everything, man. It was real fun with them, man. And I just learned that it becomes a business.
Well, in a sense, I think about that being, you said 2003, 2004, right? Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like you're like an influencer back then.
Yeah.
That term did not exist yet.
They had, their service was so horrible. You could go to, I went to Ontario and you couldn't get no reception. So my job was I had to tell them what areas I couldn't receive. Make a call and get calls in. Yeah, I still have my regular phone.
That's a tough gig right there.
Oh, yeah. It was fun.
So you're doing market research too.
Yeah, exactly. they was getting their money's worth out of me. They was making show. But I don't regret anything, man. Even the upset, even the down times, even the upset times, even the times that the Clippers made me mad. I think it makes you a better person. It makes you a person it makes you a stronger person. It makes you more go, because that means you're doing something right. Because when you create people that hate you or people that don't like you, that means you're doing something right. That's how I feel.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm glad you say that. That's an important message about resilience. But when you stand up like you do and you're willing to put yourself out there and your team struggle, where did you get your strength from? Was it your mom? Like, who else supported you? Because it's not easy. Right, you're vulnerable when you're putting that much energy
you
out,
must be
right?
Super confident to put yourself out there.
I never cared what people thought of me. I never cared. Because you can't put me down if I don't know you. Now, if I know you and you say something, now that's when you can cut me. That's when it hurts. But if I don't know you, like, I don't pay attention to social media because you can't hurt me. Like, even on the praises, yeah, y'all like it. I'm cool. I'm very appreciative of it. But the negative, like, I read the negatives, and I'm like, man, how can you say something like that about me and you don't even know me? Get to know me first. And then if you know me, then you say that, then I understand. But you can't, it's just like I hated Kobe because what the media said about Kobe. But when I got to meet Kobe, it's a whole different person.
So have you ever responded to any of those negative comments ever?
Oh yeah, I do it.
You do?
Oh yeah.
And are you nice? Are you not nice?
I'm very nice because I want to see where they're coming from.
You want to know.
And then some of them be like, oh, Darrell, I didn't know that. Oh, I apologize. Then you get some of them say F you or kiss my behind, or they say, you using, this is the biggest thing. You're using the Clippers name to make money. Bro, I'm using my ability to make money. Mm-hmm. Forget the name. You can call me a Bubaka. You know, you could want me a Oelberger Darrell. It's still not gonna stop me from being the person that I am. You know, so that's what the philosophy, and that's what I get. That's the only thing that pisses me off when people tell me I use the Clipper name to make money. Nah, it's not like that. You know, I mean, your name, this dude's name. I mean, they put Clipper in front of their name. Y'all go out there and do it. You know.
I mean, are you still paying for your tickets?
What I have to do for my tickets, I have to give the Clippers 3 appearances, and they give me my season tickets, and I get 1 ticket. So it's a good trade now. And that was arranged when the scandal came out, and they was there, and that was arranged back then, and you know, and it was made public. That's why I don't mind talking about that.
Yeah, so it makes it clear.
Exactly.
I'm earning my.
I'm earning because I got to do 3 appearances for my ticket, so I'm cool. You know, it don't bother me. It saves me like about $4,000 a year. You know, so I'm cool with that. And I never, you know, my thing is people say, man, why don't you work for the Clippers? No, my thing, I'm not trying to work for the Clippers because it takes away from it takes away the fun. Because now they're gonna say, well, Darrell, at the 6-minute mark, we need you to do this. Right. No, that don't work at the 6-minute mark. That's gonna be sometimes it might work at the 4-minute mark. You know,
it's gonna be organic.
Exactly.
Well, once you lose your fandom and you become part of the cog, you lose the freedom to also be critical. Like fans are supposed to be a little objective, right? Like
all the time,
harsh on their team, harsh on the right. Say what they feel. Mm-hmm. So that's an interesting kind of moral dilemma, right? The minute they try and like, it kind of stifles that voice and that energy, which I know is important to you to bring.
Yeah, because you know, Bomber knows, man. I tell him all the time, man. You know, because I had the pleasure of meeting him.
Does he come talk to you?
Oh yeah. I had the pleasure of meeting Bomber I sat next to him the first game between the Clippers and the Lakers, opening season when he first owning the team, and we had great conversation. I didn't realize to honor Mr. I wrote Steve. I had my barber put Steve Ballmer in the back of my head. Right, he had a picture of me in his phone with that in the back of my head.
Really?
Yeah. I said at the time he was worth $20 billion then. Now he worth $40 billion, but I said this $20 billion man got me in his phone. He know who I am. I mean, it's been an honor to be like when people call me, like when players, celebrities, when different people know, you know, it surprised me. I'm at the ESPYs. The dude that played it, hey, what was that African movie that we just finished watching? What was the I can't even think of it.
I don't know.
Yeah, Wakanda Forever, right? Wakanda.
Black Panther?
Black Panther.
Okay.
Now, when I seen that movie, right? Not Michael B. Jordan, the other dude, the other black guy that was in it. What's his name?
Forrest Whitaker?
Not Forrest Whitaker. You know who I'm talking about. Dang. But it's going to come to me. But I'm at the ESPYs. When he said, man, what's up, Clipper Darrell? I be in shock. You know, I've had different conflicts with like.
You felt a part of Wakanda Nation.
Oh man, I sure did. And then like meeting Denzel Washington and meeting these different people, bro. And when people know who you are, it's like it's amazing. Like this stuff never gets old to me. Like you know, like I don't take this for granted at all because it can stop tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? But I don't take this for granted at all, man. I'm very appreciative every single day, man. I thank God every day, man, for what I have.
Yeah, and I love that beauty. You know, it's kind of like you're bringing the arena of spirituality into the sports arena.
Oh yeah.
You know, I always feel like that connection. You know, they're connecting to you because you bring something that excites them. You know, that gets them into the basketball game. Yeah. And that gets this very cathartic moment. Be able to thank them for who they've given.
Well, you've really created a special culture. He breathed life into the Clippers, right? That's what you've been doing.
Yeah, I mean, I've been called the ambassador for the Clippers. I've been called the super fan. I've been called, you know.
I feel like you're more than a super fan, though. At this level, after so many years, you're more than a super fan.
Yeah, it is an ambassador type thing because when your team struggles and people don't. Like, I mean, I don't know the history of culture before 2000, but Clippers have had how many like winning seasons or like
Shut up.
Exactly. But it's been a painful journey, right? I mean, for a long time. So you can feel that like there's You know, there haven't been championships, right? I mean, so it's harder for you to do what you do here. Yeah, it shows a lot more courage because it's easy. Like we're talking about the Patriots. No offense to the Patriots and congratulations, but it'd be real easy to like tomorrow throw on a Tom Brady jersey and run around and be like, you know, I'm a big super fan for the Patriots and go next 2020, right?
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, I know you're saying you don't care what people think, but I got to ask you, like, you know, so what do you do? You know, when it's you know, when things are not going well, how do you keep yourself strong?
Man, I have a strong circle, you know, strong circle around you. And pray a lot. You know, I believe in God. I definitely, you know, and, you know, whatever you're going through, he's going to get you through it, you know. But at the end of the day, man, it's all about your surroundings, man. You know, having a good team around you, to your family, to your friends, you know. Like people ask me, like if you owe child support or if you don't take care of your kids, you can't be my friend. People say, oh, Darrell, you're kind of harsh on that, right? The reason why I say that is because if you don't take care of your kids and you eat every day, you put your clothes on every day and they don't have anything, you don't take care of your own kids, how you gonna take care of me? How can you be my friend? How can you be loyal to me? You know what I'm saying? And that's what hurts. So people are like, oh, Darrell, I never thought of it that way. I said, yeah, think of it. That's how I think of my friendships. You know, it's a big, man, you know, I'm too old to play the games, you know? You can't be around me just because I'm making money or I know this person, or I know that person. I've been through all that. I watch what other people do, and that's why I won't do it. You know what I'm saying? I learned by being around millionaires. It's two things that I don't do, and it's two things I tell people you should never do: bring your friends around and ask for money, and you got friends for life. That's the worst thing you can ever do because they hear it constantly. You know, I got millionaire friends. I got billionaire friends. I got 4 billionaire friends in my phone. Billions. You know, but I don't ask for nothing. Because when you start asking, then you become one of everybody else. You got to be different. You know?
So how do they pick you up, right? You're straight with people. You tell them what you feel, but how do people give back to you?
Now, that's why I created my charity. That's how you can give back to me. It keeps me going to give back to the kids. Because I haven't.
So tell us about
how do
your
people
charity
get involved?
Yeah, exactly, and what its mission.
My mission is to get at-risk kids motivation because they get closed into our four walls, right? I do a lot of charity events with the LA with the police departments. I do LAPD. I just did one with Santa Monica PD, Hawthorne PD, Gardena PD, and what my goal is to take kids out of these four walls, what they always see. A player took me under his wing. I love him for it to the day, because we still friends to the day. And he took me out of these four walls and showed me. I never knew what sitting in Morton's the steakhouse was. I never knew what Beverly Hills looked like, you know. And to take him and to go eat at Mr. Chow's. You know, everybody know what Mrs. Childs is, and to see the paparazzi come out, it's a whole different experience. You know, to stand around with different players and talk to different players and getting their insight of the games, that's an experience. And that's what I want to show these kids, to take these kids to a restaurant where they can sit down with the same people that I sat down with, and where they could talk to them, and even with younger players that they can relate to better. And just sit down with them.
So you create experiences where they get to meet players?
Where they can meet people that they grow up with. And it's a different way, because a lot of times these kids don't feel like there's a way out. You know what I'm saying? They watch their parents go through this struggle. And they think like sports is the only way out, and it's not. You can go be a lawyer. You could be a doctor. You can go be a psychologist. You know what I'm saying?
You can be.
It's so many different situations.
Whether you want to be, come talk to me first.
You know, but it's so many different outlets that you can do. Like I bring in doctors. Like I got a buddy of mine that's a doctor. He comes in and talks to the kids. You know, because if you don't know, this dude he grew up in the hood just like everybody else, but he Mexican. You know, he grew up, but he got all his degrees out of USC, UCLA alum, always giving back, but he loved it. You know.
Yeah.
So
Well, that exposure is such a gift because just getting around someone like you're getting around, Denzel and Steve Ballmer, you get around someone like, and it kind of creates this feeling of like, well, right, not that I want to be exactly like them, but I could accomplish.
Exactly.
Or maybe I can connect to these people and they could teach me something. It creates this whole world outside of that isolated experience you might be having.
But if you get them now when they're young, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
That's when they're impressionable.
Exactly. Because when you're 22, 23 years old, man, you don't think, you're doing your own thing. But if you can get them then, man.
I'm sure that you've empowered so many young
The
people.
rewarding thing is when kids come back to you, and they come back to you and they want to talk to the kids that you help, that you're mentoring again, and they saying, thank you, Darrell. I really appreciate it. When parents come up to you and say, thank you, man, I see the change in my child. You know what I'm saying? It's a better way. If you don't know it, because people want to see, man, this guy was here with me. I remember. Now when they see you on TV, I remember him. You see, they see you at the games. I remember him. That's the effect I like. That's what my charity is all about. And I love giving back. And I want to take these guys to the games where after a game, man, bring a player up, man, and let them holler at them, Ask them anything they want.
Will the Clippers let you bring a group to a game? Or
I'm gonna get it all set up and do it all.
Because that's an amazing experience.
Yeah.
I mean, just going I have kids that I run into. I took to a game for their birthday party, and you remember the McDonald's family pack? It was like the bleachers, and you got like it was like came with a Happy Meal. I think I don't know. I didn't eat it, but it was like 6 tickets for like $45. Back in the day. And they remember.
Yeah.
Like you took us to the Clipper game. They and just the experience of going and watching basketball played professionally.
My best
for some
memories
people.
were going to games with my parents or having that family experience and
it
sharing
means
that.
so much. It's
Like you play soccer, right?
I played soccer for 15 years, tennis.
So you know who Hope
softball.
Solo is, right? Mm-hmm. Hope Solo is a good friend of mine. We gonna do something this summer where I can bring the college,
Bring her here.
where we could sit down with the girls, bring the women, so people can hear her side of the story on what she went through. See, a lot of times this media would tell you their side of the story, and you never get to hear it from the source. So we're gonna do something this summer, man. She's a good friend of mine, man. Her agent is real good to me. So, man, and that's what I just want to change lives, man. And once you do that, man, it's priceless after that, man. You just can't have a platform and don't use it for the good.
So tell us, Darrell, because we're getting near the end of our time. Tell everybody how they can get a hold of you, how they can find about your charities.
How can we donate? How can we help?
Yeah.
It's at Clipper Darrell. You can go to hvb.org. hvb1mom.org, and you could donate. It has a PayPal up. You could donate straight to the PayPal.
One is the number, or is it the word?
I'm sorry. The number one.
Okay.
The
HVB
one,
the number one.
and MOM, and .org, and you can donate. You can donate there. You can email me, ask me questions if you want to know more about the foundation, whatever. Feel free to hit me anytime.
What's your email?
cd@clipperdarrell.com. CLIPPERDARRELL.com. Hit me up anytime. I answer all emails, so don't think if I don't answer you in the 2 hours, you might be the third hour, but I answer them all in order. So I don't have no problem. I answer them myself. I don't let nobody answer them for me because I want to know what's going on.
That's great.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And if you want to donate, you can go to donate@hvb1mom.org, and then you can talk to me from there for the nonprofit side of it. But man, if you want to give back, if you want to volunteer, whatever, come on,
Let's
give me a
get
holler.
together. Reach out to me. Let's go watch a game with Clipper Darrell. Let's try and, who cares if we look bad with our dance moves? We'll try and
I
imitate
would just
him.
love to see Richard out there with
wow.
you doing the dance. Please,
As long as
let's
it's
make
fun,
that
heck.
happen.
I got 6 of these suits, so I put you in the suit
sweat
now.
through it. Oh, wow.
Or just,
As
we
long
should
as
give
it's
Richard
tall.
a move. Like, what
As
is
long as
your?
it's tall. It might
what
be a
is
belly
good
suit.
move?
A belly suit. All right, Caitlin, real quick, how can people get a hold of you?
Yes, you guys can find me, of course, on Facebook at Caitlin Patricia Weiler and on my website, CaitlinPatriciaWeiler.com.
Find her.
Also,
Fine, guy.
Stop making me blush. Also on Instagram, Kit Kate. And then if you're looking for some nutrition coaching, you can find me at Kit Body Fitness on Instagram and kitbody.com online.
Yes, and thank you for making that 2-hour haul up here today.
Yes.
And being here. We appreciate your energy. We appreciate the new location. For those of you
We
trying
appreciate
to find...
our super fan,
Yeah, I'm
Darrell.
gonna thank him. Thank you for all the Instagram followers. We're up over 6,000 at Richard Listens, Twitter at Richard Listens, Facebook / Richard Listens. Am I getting the point home? If you're looking for the podcast on Apple, you can find 2018 and before issues on Richard Listens on Sports, but any new 2019, you have to search under All Access Broadcasting. So please share the cast. If you like it, send it to your friends. We hope to bring you authentic, real, inspiring guests. If you are interested in coming on the show, please reach out to us or All Access Broadcasting. And we want to wish a sincere thanks for Clipper Darrell for being here today, honoring us.
No problem.
Inspiring people, being himself, not being afraid to uplift others when things are down. And I think that's what this country needs more of right now. That's what Richard Listens. That's what I need more of right now. I'm going to hang out with Clipper Darrell. He may make me look bad and dance, but that's okay. Because, every day we connect, we change ourselves, we inspire others. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
Thank you.
Any parting words, Darrell?
Man, hey, take time, man, and look at somebody, man, that you haven't been friends with in a while, and you mad at somebody. Give him a hug, give him a call, man. Just tell him, man, hey, let the bygones be bygones and start new, man. Let's go.
Amen.
Amen
Great
to
way to end
that,
the
and
show.
let's hope the Clippers make a run.
Yeah.
Playoffs, baby, here we come.
And we're out. Thanks, everybody.